Hi, everybody. It's Debbie from Spooky Things again. Um, this is the second beginning of a show that we've done tonight because, as usual, right when you're on the air, something happens. And
I became injured.
yeah, he decided to roll around on the floor back there. But we're giving it another shot here. Anyway, this, and this is what goes to show you that, when we do these podcasts and shows and stuff it's live. It's like, and I do it right out of my own house. So it's like whatever's going to happen at the house happens right on the air. So yeah, like the time I fell down the grating in my chair.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. And then tonight he takes that was not funny.
No, I was in a bit of pain. Just a little bit.
Yeah. So I wrapped it up and here we are again. Anyway, so let's get on with the show. You okay over there, bud?
I'm coming to.
Okay. All right. So let's try this again. Now, tonight, what we're going to talk about is the afterlife. Um, I mean, obviously, it's like I was explaining. It's very subjective because really anybody out there about the afterlife, all you've got is an opinion. I mean, unless you've had an um, NDE, which would be a near-death experience, and even that is subjective. You really don't know about what's out there. Now, some people have had them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty impressive what they've come up with. And I do believe some of them are like, I, you know, could have been the medication, it could have been the brain's reaction of trauma, or shutting down or whatever. Um, but I mean, some of them that I've heard about's like, ooh, yeah, that could have been it. That really, I'm tempted to lean more towards, yeah, I believe that one. Um, but again, it's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Devin has some ideas on it, and Devin has done research, and he's looked into the different theories about afterlife.
Mm-hmm. There's a few different ones.
There is a few different ones. Of course, it varies for religious beliefs,
Big time.
big time.
Well, you have stories of reincarnations. Um, you have stories of uh, one I find real good is they said that when you die, let's say there's a decision to be made where you can either choose to go be with your loved ones or go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously the most common choice that's given is most choose to go be with loved ones, and that's where they choose to go. Um, I believe if you choose to go be with loved ones, you're going to be reincarnated, or you can either choose to go be with loved ones or be reincarnated. It was something of the sorts
Mm-hmm.
along there. The Egyptians have the duat, which I always found to be fascinating. The story of the duat. Um, and I wanted to get into maybe talking about Shambhala, but that's something a little different. But
Well, what's the duat about?
that'd be the Egyptian, the underworld, uh, would be kind of in a way like a few different, like maybe like a 2-3 part journey. But the main journey of it was getting to the end of, getting to the duat where you would be judged. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
your heart would be, uh, the weighing of how virtuous you were as a human being. The heart would be
So it'd be Judgment Day to us.
yeah, you travel to the end to be judged. getting there was the big part of the journey. It's a very long journey. The second part, which would be the judgment, the weighing of one's heart. Um, it would basically record everything that you did in life, and it was weighed against the a goddess's feather, and wrist killing, and then from there it would symbolize whether you were good or not in life. So if you weren't good, the heart would be casted into you'd be in darkness. Your heart would be devoured by a god. Um, Amut would devour your heart. The devourer, Amut, yes. And the feather would be Mayat. Would be the feather of Mayat. And yeah,
That's a tough crowd.
it's all part of the journey.
Yeah.
Camera's really close. I mean, I didn't realize it was that close. I haven't really been looking into it all that well.
Yep.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Someone sent you a friend request.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Um, so, so the Egyptians, of course, they had the mummification ceremonies at death, and they would remove the vital organs. What was there? 5 vital organs?
And they would put them in their jars. They
Right.
actually just had a really cool scan of one that showed that they actually put from here down here. You know how you have how your chin comes out and how you have like this bridge right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, when you die, obviously that all sinks in and stuff. They did when they did one of their scans of a mummy, they actually go in and then had something inserted in here that would push this part of the skin out to make it look and keep your strong, defined features on the face and in the neck. That goes to show you just how important the mummification process is and just how intricate it was that they would actually do that to keep the features so like to what you look like in life.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the knowledge and the ability to do that. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
That's fascinating.
It is.
When I saw that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's so cool. Who would have thought?
Well, the Egyptian civilization was so beyond their time in the first place. You know.
I believe they around that time, I believe they all stumbled into something that it was just left over from an advanced civilization before, and that's exactly what they all came to. You know, they talk about how they developed and built. They did not, man. You know, they did not. They came to that. You know, that stuff that had all been standing there when they came to it, and they realized we're standing in the land of the gods. Whenever my personal opinion on it, from what I've seen over the years, looking into it, that I strongly feel that all of that was remnant and left over from previous civilizations. And when they stumbled into it and they looked at it and they go, well, we can't build this. We could never recreate this. We're in the land of gods. And they would feel this is the safest place to start a civilization or live. They would
Well,
feel protected, safe. We're in this powerful place. Who knows what they stumbled upon at that time going there? I mean, we're also
yeah.
talking, it didn't look like it did right now either. It was more lush and had, you know, all kinds. It was not what it is right now,
No, it was not.
and
It
they
was not what
definitely
it
proved
is.
that.
It was like a huge oasis.
Very beautiful place.
Yeah.
Had all
It was
kinds of,
green and,
yeah.
like you said, it was very lush. It was not the desert that it is that we see today. It was quite different from that.
Yeah.
Um, they actually had rivers,
Hmm.
canals.
They believe Atlantis was there in the Sahara as well, where the Rakat structure. They believe that the Eye of the Sahara, that's coming out more and more and more, that they believe that's the actual location of Atlantis, because the Atlas Mountains and everything that's there, and the way Plato described it, all matches up to this place. They found seashells and all kinds of interesting things over there at that structure, that shouldn't necessarily be there.
Well, the study of time tells us that the Sahara Desert and that Death Valley,
Mm-hmm.
these huge deserts, at one time were oceans.
Mm-hmm. The
They were
Great Flood
actual, yeah,
is what destroyed it.
it was oceans. And well, between the earthquakes and divisions of land and land masses, displacement of water when land masses were moved, um, it turned it into a wasteland, into a desert wasteland. So, what you see out there now, like the Valley of the Kings and all this kind of stuff, it's like a big desert right now, but before it was lush and beautiful and green and fertile land and
Mm.
just beautiful. It was not what it is today. Um, so yeah, who knows what they actually stumbled across back when? We don't know that.
Mm-mm.
We're attributing it to the fact that they created it, or that and there's a possibility that they didn't.
It's easier to say that they did that than going into the fact that, let's say they didn't do it. Well, then if they didn't,
Yeah,
who did?
yeah,
And now they have to explain that. And in order for them to explain who did, it would be them admitting that we've made mistakes in mainstream academia, and um, good luck getting any of them to admit mistakes or any of that. They'd rather just cover things up than
yeah.
admit to
Well,
mistakes. History is not to be rewritten, and if it is, it's to be written in pencil. So that it can be,
if we would be doing it,
if you were to rewrite
it would be in
history,
pencil.
you need to rewrite it in a pencil. So that you can.
Just a suggestion.
Man, this was totally wrong. We messed this up for almost 300 years. We were telling people that.
Just a suggestion.
But um, getting back to the other things, but on the Sahara Desert,
Mhm.
there was one on Joe Rogan. Was it Joe Rogan? I think it was, where he was pointing out. He said if you actually take aerial looks at it, you can literally see where a massive body of water washed over that entire area, and over time receded back down. And how they started pointing it out was, you can notice these ripples in the sand, and certain things that you look at, if you look at beaches,
Right,
you'd see the same thing in a beach that
right.
you would see in this large scale of a desert. You could literally see over time where the water receded back down.
Yeah.
And Atlantis, if that is a location for it, you can literally see where it was pushed and just thrown and tossed to where it was. So it could easily be that it was centered there, or centered somewhere, and then it was from that flood, all that boosh, and just annihilated everything that was there. There's so much that's still buried in them sands.
Oh God, yeah,
It would be lifetimes
yeah.
upon lifetimes until they actually really pulled.
No, I agree. I agree. Well, that and to the fact that it used to be an ocean.
Yeah, and that too. Everything was submerged at one point as well.
Yeah,
So tons of history is all there.
it's underneath the sand.
Imagine how deep it could actually be.
Yeah,
It'd be a whole world buried under there. No one would know.
yeah. When you consider how deep an ocean is, and where the desert sits today, that was all.
Can you imagine riding like a dune buggy out there, and you hit something, you go eating crap, and you get to go, man, what'd you hit? Man, you just flipped out of nowhere. And they go walk, and they go, dude, look at this big old tip of something.
Tip of,
Tip of something. And yeah, they started digging.
tip of something.
And they get down there and they find out they got a whole lot of something. And they're like, oh my God, we have a discovery. And little do they know, it's like a tip of something is way down there something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a big something.
and then they find a city something or something. You know what I mean? And then the government shows up and goes, no, the Egyptians built that.
Oh,
Yeah, they built that too. Yep, all the same time. Yeah, they built that.
Yeah, just ask us.
We know everything.
We know. We don't know crap.
I can't wait to go on a tour in Egypt. They're gonna be like, "Nah, we know who you are. You don't come here. You talk stuff on the radio. You don't come here no more." One of these days, I am gonna get a picture, hopefully with nothing like this on my arm, going, "Yo, I'm here. I made it to the Egyptian pyramids where they say we built them." No, no, we did not. Ain't nobody built these things,
Yeah.
but some advanced,
Yeah.
stupid advanced people, and it was worldwide. They built those
It
things
was
all over the world.
worldwide.
Yeah.
I believe that is true. It
It's
wasn't just located just in
mm-mm.
Egypt.
It was a worldwide civilization that
Like
existed
we
here.
were talking about, there's an actual pyramid in the rainforest,
One in
wasn't?
Bosnia. There's massive ones in Bosnia too.
But there's one in it's a rainforest. It's what, Argentina or something like that, that they found a. I hate saying it because I can't give you the correct information.
A new one was discovered.
It was discovered a while back.
The only ones that I know
Yeah.
they've pulled some amazing lidar shots from the ones in like New Mexico and stuff like that. They
Mhm.
started uncovering all those crazy structures in
Mhm.
in the forest out there, and that's trippy too because it's the complete polar opposite of what happened to the Sahara Desert. You know how it's all nothing's there, but then you have other places in the world where it's just overgrown.
Yeah.
The forest has reclaimed everything there, but little do people know that there's these amazing archaeological sites that are there, huge megalithic structures, things that if you go, that I don't know who could have built that. There's no way some of them people could have built that.
Question to you, because the show was originally, Afterlife.
Oh yeah, we need to get back to that. My hand's turning purple.
You're fine. But think about it.
Mm.
Those big structures depicting the gods, right? Do you think that they adapted that from what was already there?
I believe that's part of a different civilization.
Okay.
I believe that is something completely different. And sometimes you see it where you'll find the same gods depicted in other places of the world. Doesn't that kind of point to there was a worldwide civilization that knew about every? When you start, this is just where I come from when I see it. When I start seeing the same gods or depictions of gods or whatever in one particular place, and then you find it in the complete opposite end of the world,
Absolutely.
that tells me this was a worldwide civilization. They all communicated. They were one to run this planet. How they were able to harness electricity, how they were able to harness the natural vibrations of the planet. They knew some really, really, really advanced things that we ourselves are slowly discovering, rediscovering, and then basing technology off of. They already had all that, but a different way. They went a completely different
Right,
way.
right. They want to come because when you look at Chichen Itza, okay, just for an example, and you compare that over with the Egyptian, it's the same type of a structure, but a completely different ideology.
Same with Teotihuacan in the Great Pyramid. Them being exactly around the same size, where Teotihuacan's really, really wide, Great Pyramids and height. But if you were to break it all down, they're literally the same. And you can also see similarities in construction as well. All these things fascinate me when I see them because it's like, and then you also see those special blocks that are like molded together, like with extreme heat, but super, super, super precision. These things, they're not easily achievable by any means necessary. Hell, we cannot recreate it today. We
No.
cannot. And that just simply tells you that they went a completely different way with their technology. That but they had a better understanding of the natural order of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they had. So maybe it was actually a combination of. It could literally, what we could be seeing is a combination of total understanding of nature and total understanding of advanced technology, and then the merger of it together. Or it could be an advanced race from a different dimension. Who knows? But sometimes I believe what we really could be seeing is just something they knew everything. they just knew it. They knew how to build it. This is a very advanced race of people.
But they just disappeared.
That's what happens in a cataclysm. Everything vanishes. But then, if you want to survive such things, you would go down into the planet. You would hide inside when the surface is not livable. And it technically, if you think about it, it just dawned on me the other day when I was looking at a tornado annihilating a house in Nebraska. I think it was. They had
Probably.
I think it was this morning. I saw a tornado whooping some houses up in Nebraska. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? If you really think about it, our surface is still totally chaotic.
Absolutely.
From fires,
Hurricanes, tornadoes,
earthquakes,
tsunamis,
all these natural disasters. Technically, the surface is still, in a way,
still
it's not livable. Violent.
It's extraordinarily unstable.
And then you got our wars on top of it. We're violent. So you got a violent Mother Nature, violent human beings.
What fun.
Yeah, I saw these dogs fighting earlier near the Walmart. They were going at it. They're violent. You got violence all over the place. The UFC, they're pretty violent. I love the UFC though. I'm just giving a shout out there. But what I'm getting at is you got violence. You got things that are just not stable. If you were an advanced race of beings, you do not want anything that's unstable.
It's interesting, to hear you talk about that. It seems like the human race preaches peace and envelops violence. But they sit out there and peace. We have to be peaceful. We have to be generous. We have to be, and but in actuality, trauma pays.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is king. If somebody gets killed, if there's a horrible accident, that's the top news, and that's where everybody is centering in on that. It's like violence, trauma is king.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame, of course, but it's just something that it just seems to be human nature. You just can't seem to get it out of human nature.
It's primitive.
It's very primitive.
I believe these are like primal instincts of ours that's still there to this day.
Now, as far as myself, you know me. If there's a car accident, I don't look. I don't want to see it. If there's a fight going on, I walk away. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I might get in the middle of it and coach somebody.
Yeah, you would. If there is any kind of pain involved or violence involved, I'm empathic. I can't be around that crap. I walk away. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I hear the word pain. I've been watching Naruto, and Pain is one serious character.
It's a cartoon.
How dare you insult a ninja
It's a
way?
cartoon.
No, it is not. First off, it's an anime.
It's an anime cartoon.
And before, it's an anime as a manga. And I'm just gonna stop you there and go. You don't know Naruto. You don't know. If you have not watched, Naruto. You don't know. But you will. If you did, you would know that you need to have a ninja way. And what you just said was not very Naruto. That was not very ninja way.
I've lived all my life without being on Naruto. I'm pretty sure okay.
I'm just gonna say it. I lived most of my life too being not. I never watched a single episode of Naruto. And earlier, was it last year?
I don't know what.
It was last year.
What?
I started watching Naruto. It was late last year. I started watching for the first time ever. First time. And I will definitely sit here and say it is the greatest anime ever done.
I used to watch Scooby-Doo when I was young.
At that time, that was probably the greatest cartoon ever done.
I thought it was.
I like the Jetsons. Meet the Jetsons. I love that.
I find the anime boring. What? There's a lot of talk going on.
No, well, let me tell you. There's some where it ain't talk at all. It's just a fist of flyings. And there's real good fights, real good act.
They used to do the same thing with Batman. Pow!
Nah,
boom!
Come on, this is something completely different. Oh. You know what? Let's move on. Let's go back to the afterlife. I feel like if this keeps going, I'm going to be offended. I'm already offended. I don't even want to wear this shirt around you right now. It's my Dragon Ball shirt. I hurt my wrist. I hurt my wrist doing that. I hope that was worth it. I hurt myself showing you my Dragon Ball shirt.
No.
My Naruto shirt's inside. I should not be wearing this shirt talking about Naruto. That's so disrespectful.
Not to mention the fact we should be talking about the afterlife and not Naruto.
True. If I have any fans on this show, they're going to be upset with me talking about wearing a Dragon Ball shirt talking about Naruto.
You'll get through it.
I hope I get through this before I get through that. Lord Almighty, my damn wrist.
About to send them into the afterlife. So, what got us on the Egyptians?
To do what?
This is the way it is around here. You guys got to keep up with us because
Oh,
we'll go anywhere.
but in that journey throughout the Duat, by the way,
Do what?
if
Sounds like a dance.
if those
Doo-wop.
scales were ended up being balanced, right?
Mhm.
Everything balanced out, and you were a good egg. At that point in time, you had passed all tests, and then you were welcomed into the afterlife by the man of Cyrus. Well, I don't know about the man. The being Osiris himself would welcome you into the afterlife. Which is kind of weird because I feel like it's like a store greeter at Walmart. Welcome to Walmart. Is that how it is when I pass the test? Osiris is like, welcome to the afterlife. And it's like, cool. You guys got PS2 here?
Yeah, look at everything you had to go through to get there.
Yeah, I tell you, man. That's a whole. Can you imagine sitting there and you're like, man, I'm sweating bullets, man. And they're like, all right, well, we got to pull your heart out of your. We got to pull your heart out, and we're gonna weigh it here on the scale and
Yeah, I've already died. What the hell else you want from me? You know?
pull your fake heart out of your fake thing, and you put it there, and you watch it. Oh, you're not good. Now this thing is gonna eat your heart in
Eat my
front
heart.
of you, or you pass, and Osiris is there with a flag. Welcome to the afterlife.
I don't know. That just doesn't seem like a good plan.
Hey, if you open up them big doors or whatever it is, and you see Disney World on the other end,
All I know is when the time comes for me,
hmm,
the last thing I'm wanting to look at is some big guy sitting there waving a flag after everything I've been through. Say, welcome. I don't know. This doesn't seem. This shit don't seem right. Anyway,
it's a pretty quick journey too. Like from
you
death
said
to
it took a long time.
well, I mean, like in the sense like you died and you go through all this and then you get there. I wonder if you have any time to even think about like what happened to you. Like, damn, I died at a McDonald's, man. Like,
Yeah, that
I was just sitting there eating a hamburger, Jesus. I choked it. Now I'm here. What
just
is
doesn't seem right.
what's
But
going on with all of this? Oh,
well, those are the. So that's the Egyptian way. Now, what was the one that you were telling me about? Shambhala?
that's something else. That's it's actually something different.
Oh,
That's why I'm saying a different day, a different conversation for Shambhala. But that would be the teachings of Buddhists and Shambhala. Now, Shambhala is a very special place. They believe that that would be the place that all origin of life would be. It would actually kind of be kind of interesting to think about because let's say that's true, they're underground.
mm-hmm.
It makes sense that whenever there's, I'm just gonna say it like this: we get annihilated on the surface. Say nothing freaking survives. Nothing. Why are we still here?
Run that by me again.
There's a cataclysm. Everything on the surface is destroyed. Why are we still here?
Well, if we were on the surface, we'd be destroyed.
But why are we still here? Who keeps restarting this crap? Who keeps putting human beings back on the surface? I feel like sometimes this is something that eludes people.
Well, no, because the last cataclysm, everything. Well, not everything died.
I don't want to hear about Noah and his ark.
I'm not talking about Noah. And
I
his
don't want to
ark.
hear about no arks.
No, I'm not talking about Noah and his ark. I am talking about science. I am talking about creatures, very, very small creatures that did survive, but through adaptation and evolution and all this other kind of stuff, they got bigger. They went from water to land.
I don't believe in any of that. There's too much splicing in our genes to. No way. I'm not going to believe that a giant celestial object hit this planet, splice all of us up, and now we're back because of fission. And no, I ain't believing all that. Nope, you cannot convince me.
There's scientific
We're
proof of it.
we're way too intricate, and even in the Bible says that we were worked on and studied on. But I'm just going to say that there's life down there, and it's been here for a very long time. And whenever these things happen on the surface, they repopulate by doing that. The Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden, and all that crap, right down beneath our feet, that's where it is. If I had to guess where it would be, I am not going to sit here and go, the Garden of Eden is on the moon, or the Garden of Eden could be out in space. If the Garden of Eden was anywhere, it'd be in the damn earth. It would be down there where it's safe.
Okay, but there is the theory that the underworld is literally
An underworld.
an underworld.
It's exactly what I believe.
And they've got a lot of scientific proof to prove this as well.
They do, where they ended up having, they are able to, um, based off vibrations, they were getting data back on what the hell was way down there. We're talking about miles upon miles, hundreds of miles down. And readings were coming back that they were seeing mountain ranges taller than Everest. And they were common this big.
Right.
Common this big mountain ranges. You have that giant cave in China that was exposed that literally has it has its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
So if a cave has its own ecosystem down there, if you continue to go further, you will discover inside the earth there's an ecosystem all on its own, or that one could be created.
Now, it's interesting because he told me about this a few months back, and I was fascinated. I thought, oh, man. And I did do research on that, and what you had said, it collaborated what you had said. That there was a great deal of research that had been done into underground communities.
Well, like Darren Guyu could house 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Very intricate. You see how they built their air ducts, and it's built into rock.
Yeah.
In order to have the ability to do that, that is extremely advanced, man. You cannot tell me hunter-gatherers or people with rocks and sticks built Darren Guyu. No way. This place was built by an advanced civilization that says we got to get the hell off the surface. And now they knew they had a limited amount of time to build this, get the hell down there before things were raining down on them and life was getting extinct. The only way you are going to survive some insanity coming at you from space is either to get the hell off the planet or go down into it. And you cannot convince me of any other way of surviving such a thing. There is just no way.
Well, that's catastrophic.
Yeah. That's normally what you're looking at, doomsday based events.
Right. That is completely catastrophic. I mean, that's like an unsurvivable event.
It's something we still do today with underground bunkers.
We do.
The government's got them. They build them in mountains. They build them beneath your feet. For all I know, and for all anybody knows, they've been trafficking little kids down them things too. Who knows? Who knows what really goes on in this world? You don't. I don't. Nobody does unless you're involved in it. You would know then. But it's a very select it's a very select few of people that really truly know about what goes on in this world, who runs it.
Well, and then you got to think about the mom and pop operations that go on. You know, you got these rural farms or, communities, and their whole job is to create a homestead for themselves deep.
Yeah.
And, they'll never figure it out because you can't see it above ground, and they're doing it quietly and privately. So who knows how many things are underground at this point? And I really think of it, a lot of these sinkholes that are happening. I think it could be a cause of that. A lot of them are not fortifying these tunnels that they're scraping out, and they're not fortifying them, and they're collapsing in.
If you were that advanced and been here for that long, you would know how to work around such things. Such things could just be natural, or could be signs of the earth being worked on the interior of it, and hence why things like that happen. That could be all signs of something actually going on within the inside of the planet. And it would absolutely make sense.
I think that frightens me though, because as we were sitting there talking about, there's these very good possibilities. It's like sonar does show that there are these huge landscapes below the planet's surface. What keeps that from imploding in on itself? And what happens to the surface at that time? I mean, these places are huge. Like
Like
you said, taller than
Mount Everest,
Everest.
yeah, and
Can you imagine
Everest
that
size.
imploding?
I don't think it will.
Well, I hope not. Where's that supposed to be at anyway?
Hollow Earth. Oh, where they did that? I think it was in China that was done. May have been. I'd have to look it up and tell you. If I sat here and said, I'd be lying, and I'm sure somebody on there would listen to it going, "He's wrong," but that's okay. Um, but yeah, I would look into that, and if you're listening, look into it. Um,
It's there. If you Google it, it
it'll pop right up.
it will. There's been quite a bit of research done on it,
You'll
and
find plenty of YouTube videos of them with the interview of the people that did that
yeah,
work, and they were talking about what they found. This ain't no BS either.
no,
This is for
it's
real.
true. This is all true
Yeah,
here.
this was actually discovered and found. Now, the trick would be sending some teams down there to actually take a look at that. They would never do that
Mm-mm.
in a billion years. They would not, because of what? No way. That kind of no, they
It's
would
too
not.
deep.
Deep. It would be if you send a team down there to do that, and all of a sudden they start finding statues, they start finding signs of life 400, 300 miles down into the earth. I would sit there and tell you the jig is up.
Yeah.
It is up. It is time to admit to things, because if you found life way the hell down there, that's it. Game over. Hollow Earth is real. Can't convince anybody else that it's not. Life exists down there, and that's where we come from. Whenever things get chaotic up top here, and we all eat our doom,
But
they
what about the
repopulate it.
theory that the core of the Earth is actually a molten hot ball? There you go.
Hollow Earth. Just like when they hit the moon with that explosion and a thing, or it got hit by a celestial object and it sat there vibrating and ringing like a bell.
Yeah.
It's hollow. Something, these they're
Yeah.
hollow. They're we could have a core. Who knows? I don't know for sure. I
I
don't.
don't know.
But they have shown that where they were going, they have experienced extreme high temperatures down there. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm sure you would make sense. But let's say not all of it's like that. Let's say there is some truth to it being hollowed out, and only certain sections you'll find high heat.
Hmm.
That there's all kinds of things to all of. Who knows? I'd love to know. I personally would love to know. I wouldn't tell another soul. I'd be like, "Yo,
It's
government,
fascinating.
just tell me everything. Just tell me it all."
It is. It's fascinating. It
Hmm.
truly is fascinating.
I would love to know. I know our Indian ancestors talked about the mounds where
Hmm.
we came up from it. They sat right there and said, "Those mounds, we came from those mounds." That the first men and women started coming out from the earth when the surface was livable again. They came from the mounds because our ancestors lived inside the planet. They talked about it. Where do you think a lot of our spiritualism and things like that? This all comes from being connected to the earth itself, living within the earth itself.
Right.
Makes sense. These things add up.
Well, and also another theory is that the mounds represent the pregnancy of a woman who's giving birth.
Exactly. That's another
So
one.
yeah,
People coming, something coming from out,
yeah,
life coming from out. And now those mounds are real protected, and they won't let nobody go up in there or do LiDAR scans or anything of that crap. They won't let
no,
you
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no.
Very, very, very sacred, protected places.
As well, it should be. I'm all, I'm
I
all
I
for it
believe it should be
myself.
explored.
I know.
It's history. It needs to be explored. It needs to be understood.
I understand that, but they're so old, and I mean they're just ancient. And you get people bumbling around down there, you're going to destroy it. You're going to ruin it.
Mm.
And what then? You just had something of major historical importance, and then they've destroyed it because they're no.
Or you could develop some robots to go down there in your stead, and just at least see what's there. Go exploring, like what they did in the pyramids. They got these little robots they custom built to have them go up in the
Yeah,
in the
those are
shaft.
cool.
Cool, right?
Those are pretty cool.
And then they discovered doing that they found that big block with those metallic like rings that were on it, copper or whatever, and that's all electricity conductors. They never would have discovered that if they didn't send that little robot up in there to find that crap. They never would have known about it.
Now, taking everything that we've been talking about, how does that fit into afterlife?
Well, in the sense that you have all this knowledge with you now, and then when you die, you don't take anything with you. So, which I told you that I think there might be a little bit of a twist to that, where if the reason why you don't take anything with you is because it's all waiting for you on the other side. Told ya. That's why you don't take anything with you. It's all waiting for you over there. Now I don't know if they got PS4 or Xbox or gaming PCs, but if you take the idea that you bring your thoughts from another dimension or another realm, when you're sitting there thinking of something, like, I want to build a table and this is how I want to build it, and you're thinking about it, you would be creating that in your mind, sure, yeah, but you could be creating it in a different dimension, and then in that dimension you've created a table. You've created it, and now you need to take it out of this dimension and bring it into the one you're in. If that's true, and that's the way things are created in that sense, you bring it from there to here by creating it, then anything that's ever been thought of would be there. It'd be accessible. So if you thought about developing a game machine and you developed it here, and then eventually you brought it here, well, your idea would still be there. Who knows? All of these things that are here could be literally waiting for you over there.
Interesting.
It could be.
That's interesting.
That's why you don't take anything with you when you die. It's waiting for you over there.
And we were talking earlier that here lately, I have been having a series of dreams.
Hmm.
It's of a completely different life. I don't know that I don't recognize. Well, actually, that's not true. I in this reality, I don't know who the people are. I don't recognize their faces. I don't recognize the houses. Nothing. But over there in the dream, I know them. I know the homes. I could look at it and tell you exactly how to get to that place.
I'll feel this in the morning.
Yeah, you are. And the only way that I can, and I can wake up, have to go to the bathroom, come back. As soon as I lay my head down, the story continues right where I had left off on it. So it's like I'm not popping out of a dream and leaving it. It's like I'm just kind of going on pause, because as soon as my mind goes back into dream state, it's like I'm walking back through that same door again, and I'm back there again. Um, to me, this is the way I'm looking at it. It is another altered reality. You know, there's the veil between the different dimensions, and I just honestly do believe that this is a different dimension. There's, what do they say, seven?
No, there's way more than that.
The seven main ones.
I believe there's 11.
So, yeah, 7 or 11. But in any case, that's what I think what's happening here. So a big thing that I question is, if there's an afterlife, you're in this dimension here, but yet you're in this dimension over there.
You could, if to explain it better, think of dimensions like this. This is one dimension. Here's another dimension, and you stack them up. So you stack dimensions out, one after another. Boom, you have your different dimensions. Stack and stack. What's up, buddy? Hey, buddy. Do me a favor. Hey, buddy. We're on the radio. Can you go hang out with Mama real quick? Go hang out with. Yeah. Yeah, Nana. Okay.
This is the reality.
Okay, okay. I love you too. Oh,
yeah, he's been gone for so long.
All right, go hang out with Mama. I'll be right there. Yeah, I know, Allie. Daddy messed himself up.
Um, So I mean, that's like, to me, it's like, but if there's an afterlife, would both of those, would me here and me there be the same spirit, be the same soul?
Yeah, it's all the same consciousness, of course. You would, you're infinite. You've lived this life before, you just don't remember. You've done this before. We're all here because we've done this before and we made the choice to come back and do it again. You know, it could be, or it could be like John Lear stated, and we're in a prison planet and we're doomed to repeat this infinite cycle because we're nothing but fucking batteries. It could be anything. Sorry for the F bomb.
Yeah, it was
I
that.
was in the heat of the moment.
It
I
was.
don't know where I was,
No, neither.
but I came back. All right, so
Okay.
it could be a simple explanation as that we're in a prison planet and we are exactly as that. We are infinite true. We're doomed to constantly be reborn, but we're in a prison planet. This is quote unquote hell. You're in it,
Okay,
and
I've heard that theory.
yeah.
I
So
have heard that theory.
that one could be, that's a real morbid one.
It is.
I tend to like the one where we're infinite. We die and we're given a choice. The good ones. Hey, do you want to go back and do this again, or would you rather go and be with your loved ones instead? And you can decide that you don't want to be reborn, you don't want to do this again, and then there's a choice, like let's say you chose to do that, then it, would you be separated from everything and then placed somewhere where you can no longer interact with this, or is it a different type of, who knows? The more I think about that one, it's like that's a really good one, because if we're energy and we're infinite, then they would just simply take that and place it somewhere else, but who's taking it and placing it somewhere else?
Yeah, because I know, with me being a medium, then who am I channeling?
That would be your familiar. Everyone's got a hitchhiker. Consciousness is a hitchhiker. Let's say, you know, you're having a basically the your
I
inner
can't be
voice.
channeling somebody that is remaining alive. Well, that's not true. Actually, that's not true. I have channeled people who are still alive.
Hmm.
I have been able to do that. It's rare. It is rare, but it does occur. Um, but if I am channeling a spirit who has gone on, who has passed, but I'm channeling that spiritual energy,
Mm-hmm.
how can I be channeling the spiritual energy if they've already gone on to a life again, and they're in another life and they're in another body,
Hmm.
right? It makes you go, there. Because I know I'm channeling this person, because this person is coming to me. It's coming to me to tell me on this other person that I'm sitting there with. And everything that I'm getting is correct, that matches this other person. Things that make you go,
Hmm.
exactly. So, that's a question that I've had quite often. Um, it's kind of hard to explain. It really is. So it's like, well, if it's not possible, then how am I doing it?
Everything's just
Where
connected.
it's all connected. Where am I getting it? How am I able to do that? And how can I do that? I don't know. I don't know how. It's like, I mean, how do I know how I was breathing 5 minutes ago? It's an automatic thing. You don't think about it. You just do it. Your body does it. It's the same thing with me being an empath. I don't know how I do it. I just I do it. It comes to me. Or I can sit down and concentrate and bring it to me. I don't tell it to come to me. I request it to. very nicely. I don't believe in doing mean things.
Yeah, I've seen some private investigators go into a house and
Provoke.
yeah, what's
I don't
up,
do that.
fool? What's up, mother effer? You a bitch. Make something happen. I can't. I've seen it on Facebook all the time. I get it.
It's disrespectful.
They might be parody videos where they're not actually doing um they're not actually doing anything. It's just them dubbing a voiceover or um
Yeah.
something of the sort. But let's say anybody that would be dabbling doing something like that, you're probably going to get a good negative reaction, and you might get a demon thrown your way in the middle of the night.
Well, now in defense of it, a lot of times that's done in order to provoke, to get it to make an appearance.
Yeah, but again, you're just toying around with something here.
You are. You
I
are.
don't know. There's some things I just believe shouldn't be trifled with, and maybe in the good of science you get an explanation for something, but then there's just some things that are just it's beyond you for a reason.
Yeah.
It's beyond you for a reason, and you shouldn't go dabbling in things that are just beyond you like that.
That's true. So, but it is a question that I've had a lot. If there is no afterlife,
Mm.
if there is no spiritual afterlife, then how can I connect with something that is in the spiritual afterlife?
I think that's
How is
one
that
thing we
possible?
all today can agree on is there's got to be an afterlife.
Has to be.
It's just kind of inconceivable to think that there's not
Right.
anything waiting for us after this. The lights go out and that's it, nothing. That
Mm-mm.
don't make sense to me. It's a total farce. No way.
So everything that you've experienced in life, everything that you've loved, everything that you've cherished,
You've done it before and you'll do it again.
it just doesn't go away. That stays there, and it lives on in the spiritual form,
Now
energy.
it could be different. There could be some of us that are reborn. There could be some of us that are there could be different circumstances. Like for instance, some people come back and they remember everything about their previous life.
That is true.
They retain knowledge, or they awaken this life and they're total geniuses. It's like, where did all that knowledge come from?
Yeah,
They've retained it from life after life after life after life. That's why they're born the way that they are right now.
that's true.
Oh, this individual knows all of history dating back to the time immemorial. How does this 9-year old know trigonometry?
Right.
He's born and he knows it. How is that possible?
Exactly.
Well, it would be possible if that turd, the kid there, little smart little turd there, he retained all of that knowledge from previous lives, and he was bestowed those gifts in this life. He's going to have a great life. He'll be a genius. He will live a prosperous life. These could be rewarded people. These could be people who made a choice at that time and said, "Nah, I want to go back, but I want to go back and do it different if possible." Yeah. And and then Osiris is like, "You've been a good egg," with the flag. You can go back.
Thank you.
You will get a Ferrari.
Or these kids that sit down and they play classical music that they've never heard before,
But they know it.
but they know it. They know the entire score, and they can just sit there and just play it.
And the mom's like, "Yeah, when I was 6 months pregnant, that's all I played in my car was Mozart and Beethoven."
And they kept him playing.
It's like, that's such a lie. No, she wasn't. That's not why I know this. You know what I mean? No, he was just born and he has those gifts.
It's amazing to me. It's totally fascinating.
Could be the reincarnation of one of those great performers,
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
again, he was just given those gifts in this life to live a great life. He was rewarded for the previous times that individual was here, and they made all these choices and it led him up to. You've had, like, for instance, you had 9 bad lives, but this 10th one is going to be rock solid. You had 9 horrible ones, but this 10th one, just for you.
And I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the if you've done something really bad in this life. I'm not sure if I believe that there's a hell that you go to because of it. I
Mm.
think that it's spiritually learned lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Or they could put you in spiritual hell.
Well, it could. I'm not so sure about that though.
You never know.
You don't. You don't.
Sometimes,
I don't. I don't know.
if you were given this one shot at life, right, and at
Hmm.
the end of it, you receive punishment.
It just doesn't seem right.
It's like, Lord, I was a good person. I did everything you told me to do. Why am I in fire right now?
I don't. I don't know.
Why did I have burning stools every time I go to the bathroom? Booty on fire.
I just I don't know. I think that it's everything is just a learning experience.
Hmm.
Everything is just a learning experience. That's why,
And that's why you don't take anything with you.
and that could be it. So it's at 8:30. I guess what the whole thing comes down to is the afterlife is the world's biggest secret,
One of them.
mankind's biggest secret. No, I think it's the king of secrets because you don't walk
It's
away from it.
strange.
You know, nobody knows.
You don't know much about life, and then you die and don't know much about
And
that
you know
either.
even less about death.
Unless you die and it all comes back to you, and you're like, man, I knew this the whole time. Yes, you did. Why was this hidden from me? Because
Yeah, but it's the because that we're looking for.
you don't know the because in life, and you don't know the because
No,
when you're
you
thinking
don't.
about death in life. You don't know about none of it.
So, it's something to really sit back and think about. I know I do. I think about it quite a bit. It's something that really, really, I don't know, confuses me. And so I find myself constantly trying to get a figure out on it. Reading what I can, experiencing what I can. But I'm a very curious by nature person. And sometimes a little bit too curious and it gets me in trouble. But I, I I just have a real desire to figure these things out. Which of course I'm. There's only one way to figure it out, and you're not going to be able to do a whole lot more with it once you've figured that part out. But that is where mediums do come in and play such an important role because they can speak to these people who they're talking to that have lived lives and they are able to speak about it. And I really think that mediums really need to be taken a whole lot more seriously because you can learn so much.
Mm.
So much can be learned from them um, with people that are no longer able to really speak on their own anymore, but they've got so much that they can teach. They really do. So I want to thank everybody for listening to us tonight. Um, I so appreciate every single person who comes on here,
All five
and
of you. I'm just playing.
no, not quite.
I'm just kidding.
Um,
I gotta crack a joke every once in a while.
take another pill, honey.
I'll be cracking way too many.
And I want to remind everybody yet once again of the Deep South Paracomic-Con that's coming in Ozark, Alabama
Hmm.
on the 14th and 15th of September. Um, we have a great lineup that's going to be there. And there it is, the Deep South Paracomic-Con.com.
.com.
So you can go on there and you can find out who's going to be there.
I might be there.
Yeah, I know you're going to be there. And
Secrets out.
secrets out. I'm going to be there. And as a matter of fact, I'm giving a seminar on cryptozoology
Ooh.
at the Paracomic Con. Yeah. I've worked with animals my entire life. And so this is just something that really has a amazing interest in my part, is the cryptozoology, not to mention everything else that we've talked about. But Deep South Paracomic-Con. And so it's for the 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we have guests from Lee Triana Terry Brown. We have Jeremy Leonard. Um, and those are both returning guests. They come, well, let me see. This is going to be our third annual, and this is going to be their third time coming back. Um, so it's just going to be fun for everybody. A lot of people go down and get a hotel room for the weekend, and they just stay with the con all weekend long and just have an absolute blast.
I'm gonna put a tent outside of the hotel room.
Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going.
Good luck with that.
That's how I'm gonna roll this year. Or I'll put the tent next to my car.
Oh, there you go. That's
or in my car.
Oh, but of course. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'll be bringing the bail money. Um, and remember, it's at the Deep South Paracomic Con, September 14th and 15th at the Ozark Civil Center in Ozark, Alabama. If you're going to be spending the weekend, call now because they book up real quick in that hotel. And there's several of them in the area, and they book up pretty good. And when you go to the hotel, tell them that you're going to be going to the Paracomic Con and ask them if they can give you the Paracomic Con discount. And it significantly does lower the price.
If they don't, you just have to threaten them, and then you'll get it.
Don't do that. The typical charge is like 100 or 120 a night, which with today, that's about the regular price you're going to be paying for a hotel. It's about about $120. So compared to what they usually charge for these hotels, it's a pretty good charge. It's quite a bit off. But hopefully we'll be seeing you there. And I'm Debbie. This is Devin. And we'll be seeing you guys next Tuesday again, providing that I don't fall down a grate or he doesn't fall down over a book bag.
My left foot went into the book bag, and then the book bag flipped me inside out. My book bags used to get flipped in middle school, and now my book bags are flipping me in adulthood.
You really wanted to tell everybody that you got tripped over by a book bag?
It was, what's the saddest part about the whole thing too is it's a book bag that you're supposed to put diapers and wipies and things in for your children. It's like a carry-on bag, and that bag took me out. I went over a table, a chair, boxes, myself. I hit a tool bag.
Did it make you smarter?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I came here and butchered some things about the afterlife. That's why I started talking about the air desert.
Because if it didn't, you better go try it again.
Oh, man. I ain't falling no more tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to seeing us. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Live long and prosper.
Bye-bye.